Hey everybody, welcome back to For You Page OG, me versus Mia. Today was a little bit of a hectic morning with all this online learning for school. I'm Professor Mummy all day, and thank God we're going back on Monday because I'm ready to rip my hair out. So for today's video, I am going to be making an outline of a recovery plan. So maybe what your recovery plan might look like or what you want it to look like. I'll walk you through step by step, and I'll make an example one and post it up here, and it'll be down below in the description. So like and subscribe and tune in for this video. All right, so like and subscribe because there'll be some more good videos coming and a lot of help and tips for people who are trying to start their recovery and just to shed some light on what your life could be like. So this recovery plan isn't to do with food intake or calorie counting or how you're going to eat throughout the day or how many meals you're going to eat. This is focusing on you as a whole and your needs and your goals and where you see yourself in 5 years and what you want to do. So no matter what kind of eating disorder you're struggling with, because it's all the same, and I'll get into it in a further video, but I want to stress because I know when I was struggling with bulimia, I would hate myself and beat myself up because I wasn't skinny, and I thought that if people knew that I was struggling with bulimia, they would look at me and laugh because they'd be like, why aren't you looking like you're 20 or 30 pounds when I was still kind of a bigger girl? So I hated myself and I shamed myself for this for so long. And I want everybody to know out there, it's not about your size. It's about how you're struggling and the help that you need, because it doesn't matter how much you weigh or what you look like, because we're all beautiful and we should all love ourselves. So no matter what eating disorder you're struggling from, never tell yourself that you're not enough or you don't deserve any help, because we all deserve the exact same amount of help. And the one thing that we should never do, and this was the reason why I hated group therapy, is compare ourselves to other people and think we're less deserving because their story might be worse than ours, but that's not the case. We all have our own stories and they all affect us in our own ways, and that should never be compared to one another because that'll never end up benefiting us in the long run. So please keep this in your head and remind yourself of this all the time. So I know the hardest part for me, and probably a lot of other people out there too, is the first step on deciding to make a recovery plan. You're pretty much telling yourself and your eating disorder mind, who's been trying to take over your whole thinking for who knows how long, that you're making that first step forward and deciding to fight. And your eating disorder brain will not like that. So they will twofold and start throwing these behaviors in your mind constantly, whether they're self-harm or just to act in the behaviors you've been acting, but so much stronger because it doesn't want to lose. Unfortunately, the power of our eating disorder is so strong, and that's why it's so hard for all of us to beat, but we can all do it, and I want to help. So let's all try to make our recovery plan together here. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. So by the time we're done, we'll all have a rough recovery plan. Okay, so number one that you'll see coming up on your screen as well is create your support team. Your support team isn't your team of medical professionals, but it's your team of close people that you have in your group and your loved ones that you feel you can let into your eating disorder and share your problems and share your goals with them, and for them to be a positive outlook on your recovery and for them to have your best interest in hand at all times. So this doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend or your best friend, because unfortunately, they might not have your best interest and they might not guide you in recovery in the way they should. That doesn't mean they're a bad friend or anything. It just might mean they're not mature enough to see the big picture, or they're just not the right people for you right now in your recovery. That's just meaning in your support team. That doesn't mean for them to be in your life. You have to remember that these people, I'd say about 3 or 4, will know almost everything about your eating disorder and your plan of action. So you have to be sure that you are 100% comfortable and willing to open up with these people. So don't choose it right off the bat. Think about it and see who you think would be the best fit to benefit your positive recovery for you. So number 2 in your recovery plan is creating achievable goals. Now these can change from week to week. So of course the first week you're going to want to start off with a little bit smaller goals, like being true to yourself, or telling yourself that you love yourself every day, or 5 positive affirmations, or letting people in, or maybe taking the first step to admitting that you have a problem or that you want help. So as you see, you'll do a week to week, and then each week you'll see them grow and grow if you achieve your goals. Now, if you don't achieve your goals for the first couple of weeks, it's not a big deal, and I don't expect you to be perfect right out the bat, because this is such hard work, and overall it's so hard to overcome our eating disorders that the first few weeks are going to be tough. You honestly should just be so proud of yourself for just writing that goal down on a piece of paper and telling yourself that you're ready to start trying, and that should be an achievement all on its own. So set a couple achievable goals to begin with, and then revisit them in a week and see where you're at. And then once you see them growing and yourself getting more positive, you can set higher goals, and maybe ones for more a month from now, or what you think suitable for you. So try this week, or when you create your recovery plan, to write down 2 to 3 small goals. And then a week from now, make sure to share them with your support team, or at least one person. And then a week from now, revisit them. Make sure to like and subscribe, and share with me in my comments down below your goals and how you're achieving them, because I'd love to know. Okay, so number 3 on our recovery plan is our treatment plan. Now, this is when you determine what kind of treatment is best for you or what you need at this time. So it could be inpatient, it can be outpatient, it could be hospitalization, or it could be weekly appointments to treatment or group therapy, or whatever works best for you. You'll sit down with your support team or your doctor, and whether on how your health is and your medical state, they'll tell you or advise you to pick one of these programs to see what's best for you in your recovery and to give you the most success. I know with me, I did a couple inpatient programs and then a day program, and now I still see a therapist, not as often as I used to, but maybe once a month or once every couple months, just to stay in tune with my recovery and my body, and to make sure my recovery is still on a good path. So sit down with your support team and say how you feel and what you think the best treatment program for you is, and then see what they have to say. Maybe you're not thinking in the big picture, because sometimes when we think ourselves, we don't realize maybe how much help we may need, or we may be fearful of taking that step on going into an inpatient program because it's scary. We're leaving home, we're leaving our loved ones. I know I was only 18 years old when I went to my first inpatient program, and it was super, super scary for me, and I don't think I was ready yet. You have to be ready for going into treatment. I know exactly the date when I said I was ready to fight this head on for real, and not just telling everybody that I was ready. And from that day on is the first day of my recovery. So make sure, if you're going to do this treatment program and go into an inpatient program, you are 100% ready to let go of your eating disorder and fight it head on, because if you're not, it's not going to work. I know from experience, because when I was 18, I went in there saying that I wasn't ready, and it almost got to the point where my eating disorder got worse because I was rebelling and retaliating on being in there. So please, please, please be sure that you are ready if you are facing an inpatient program, because there's so much work in going to an inpatient that you want to be sure you're ready. I'm not meaning for group therapy or outpatient programs, as those will get you ready and prepare you to want to fight. But I'm just saying, for inpatient programs, it's best if you're going in there level-headed and knowing you want to say goodbye to your eating disorder. Okay, so we're almost done here. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my upcoming videos you're not going to want to miss. So to finish off this, number 4 on our recovery plan is our treatment team. Now, our treatment team will look different for everybody, depending on who you are as a person, what you're struggling with, and what eating disorder is involved, and how you take care of yourself medically as a person. So whether you want to use a doctor, a dietitian, a physician, a psychiatrist, or you go the holistic way or a naturopath, your support team and your doctor will tell you what's best for you, and they'll set you up with the treatment team that they think is best. These will be the ones making your major decisions. Of course, that'll be a lot to do with weigh-ins and food intake and your weight in a whole. I always found with my treatment team, I struggled the most because, of course, I absolutely hated weighing myself in front of doctors. It was almost like my eating disorder brain would tell me that I'd have to starve myself 2 days before getting weighed in because I'd want to be the littlest weight possible. Because in my head, it was the exact opposite. If they wanted to see me gain weight, I would want to lose more. But we need to know that's all the eating disorder brain talking because they want to win. But that's not you or your true self. Your true self is that piece of that's holding on and willing to fight, and that will fully be brought up soon to start living your life the way it should be. All right, guys. Well, that's a basic recovery plan. That's just a starter one. So just to walk back through it, we want to make our support team. We want to set goals, switch them week by week, starting with the littler goals, and then gradually get bigger as your recovery goes on. And then you want to make your treatment plan, and then you want to make your treatment team. And then most all, follow through with it all. But your support team and your treatment team will be there side by side with you, helping you walk it all through. And then once you get this recovery plan undergo, then we can start focusing on the recovery plan for you and your needs and well-being and where you want to see yourself in the future. But these are the first step on the road to recovery because the beginning is the hardest part. The treatment and the initial admitting everything and taking that first step will be the hardest part in your whole recovery. So let's take this step together. I hope you guys tune in for my next video on toxic relationships. Like and subscribe and comment down below with any other topics you might want me to talk about. And I'll see you guys all again soon. Bye.